Chapter 2 starts with Elvira crouching near the ravine edge, her long white hair whipping in the wind. She studies the ice below with sharp grey eyes, pointing toward a narrow white shelf along the bank where the ice looks thinner. There, the left shelf is old ice. It may hold if we move light. May, that is the kindest word I have. Elvira did not lie to make fear softer. I was starting to respect that. Fear was easier to carry when no one dressed it as hope. Behind them, monstrous black hounds burst from the trees, noses low to the snow. "They're here," someone shouts. The hounds were faster than men. The riders were smarter than bandits. Together, they made the kind of problem you did not defeat. You delayed it. "What are you doing?" Elvira asked, making them believe I ran where I didn't. That much blood and they will believe anything. Pain had become a tool. That was new. In my first life, pain meant something had gone wrong. Here, it meant I still had something left to spend. When they smell that, they'll rush. And if they don't, then we die with a disappointing plan. I was learning that survival plans had two parts. The thing that you wanted to happen, and the prayer that your enemy was arrogant enough to help. Elvira leads the first servants down a steep, snowy slope toward the frozen river shelf. She moves slow and balanced, one hand touching the rock wall. With hounds chasing them down, people falling in the freezing cold waters, some getting captured, others stumbling in the deep snow. One by one, the numbers were running out. Only 4 of us remained. "I'm slowing you," the young servant said. "Don't make decisions for us," I replied back. "Someone has to," he answered. I knew that tone. Men use it when they have already walked ahead of themselves and seen the ending. He was still beside us, but part of him had stopped. They had caught up to us. "On your knees," the rider said. "No. Light is supposed to mean safety. In Lord Mavrin's forest, light meant ownership had found you. The wounded young servant decided to sacrifice himself for us. "Run," he said. "Grab him," I could hear the rider shout out loud. He bought us less than a minute, less than 60 heartbeats. It was enough to save the 3 of us. Sometimes that is the ugliest miracle there is. Morning. I was supposed to hang at dawn. "You missed your appointment," Elvira said. "Rude of me," I answered back. Dawn came anyway. I hated that. After a night like that, the sky should have hesitated. It did not. The world kept moving, and so did we. "Mara, I'm old, not dead. Can you walk? Ask me nicer, and I may lie better." Mara was failing. Not from fear, not from cowardice, from age, from cold, from a lifetime of surviving long enough to finally be asked to run. Your shoulder, still attached. For now, no encouragement from the passenger. Every step tore something open. Maybe the wound, maybe the body, maybe the lie that I could keep doing this. But Mara weighed less than guilt, and so I carried her. I carried her the rest of the way until we reached a small town behind wooden walls. If they ask who we are, lie. About what? Everything except the blood. They can see the blood. Elvira's survival advice had become disturbingly simple. Lie when useful, run when needed, lead only when unavoidable. I was learning. "Stop there." "Gladly," I replied. "Do not sound relieved. I am deeply threatening," I said jokingly. The guard's crossbow was old. His aim was worse, but from where I stood, even a bad crossbow had a convincing argument. "Names?" the gate guard asked. "Travelers," I responded. "That is not a name," he replied back. "It is what we are if you open the gate." I almost said prisoner, almost said fugitive, almost said dead man wearing another dead man's skin. Instead, I said travelers, a small lie, a hopeful one. Inside the palisade, townspeople peered through gaps in the gate and over walls. They came from Mavrin's Road. No one comes from Mavrin's Road. Not alive. That told me everything. Lord Mavrin's shadow reached this town before we did. People feared him here. Good. Fear meant they understood the monster. Bad. Fear meant they might feed us back to him. Morning should have felt like mercy. Instead, it felt like a lantern held over our hiding place. They will come. The hounds? I asked. The hounds, men, paid trackers, anyone Lord Marin can frighten or buy. Then stop standing in the street like wanted corpses. The city had gates. That did not mean it had safety. Not for people with no papers, no coin, and blood on their clothes. I stay here, Mara said. No, that was not a question. Mara, I am old. My bones are colder than the road. If I slow you down again, you both die politely. I had carried her through snow, river, blood, and barking dark, but I could not carry her through the entire world. Kairov kneels in front of Mara, angry, but too tired to raise his voice. We don't leave people behind. You left many people last night. That was different. No, it was honest. She can hide better here than on the road. You agree to this? I hate it. That is not the same as denying it. Mara points with her chin toward the small laundry house and back alley where smoke rises from a chimney. I know how to become invisible. In a town full of strangers, especially there, people remember pretty faces, dangerous faces, rich faces. No one remembers another old woman carrying laundry. She said it like a joke. It did not sound like one. There, a carriage, South Road, leaving soon. Then stop bleeding on my farewell and go beg. Kairov and Elvira approach the carriage. The driver looks them up and down with immediate suspicion. No, I haven't asked yet. You look like the question is trouble. We need passage south. Then you need coin. We have not enough, Elvira whispered. There were many ways to die on the road. Apparently, poverty was one of them. Elvira steps forward, calm and precise. You're taking trade goods, not passengers. So, 2 extra eyes, 2 extra hands. If the wheel breaks, he lifts. If someone approaches, I see them first. And if you rob me, then we pick the terrible time to start. We can barely stand. The driver squints at Kairov's wounded shoulder. You ride in the back. Touch nothing, speak little. That we can do. I said speak little. Where does the road lead? Southeast, green country. If the wheels hold, we reach Loomhaven by evening. Loomhaven? A city. City. The word sounded too large for us. Mara stands in the alley's edge as Kairov and Elvira return briefly to say goodbye. Listen to the girl. She knows roads. And you? I know laundry, silence, and how to look too useless to question. Keep your head down. Keep yours attached. Kairov tries to find words, but Mara grabs his sleeve with surprising strength. Mara, No speeches. I was not making one. You had the face of a man about to say something heavy. Thank you. Leave first, thank me later. There was no embrace, no promise, no dramatic vow under falling snow, only an old woman letting go of my sleeve. The carriage rolls out through the south gate. Keep low until the road bends. Why? Because anyone watching the gate is still watching. He's right. Mara became smaller behind us, then the gate swallowed her, and the road took us south. The carriage travels along a muddy road bordered by thinning patches of snow. The snow is thinning. We're leaving the northern reach. That sounds good. It is. You said that too quickly. Good does not mean safe. A warmer breeze lifts Elvira's white hair from beneath her hood. Kairov looks out from the back of the carriage, stunned by the sight of damp grass pushing through the roadside earth. His dark grey eyes soften for the first time. Grass. Yes, I know what grass is. You said it like a prayer. Maybe I did. After a night of snow, blood, and dead branches, green looked impossible. Driver, what? How often do traders use this road? Often enough. Then why are there no wheel tracks ahead of us? Old rain washed them out. There was no rain here last night. Kairov noticed too late. Bandits? Maybe. Don't say that word on my road. It was your road before someone blocked it. Men step out from the tall grass. They are not shadowy monsters, just hungry-looking men with rusted blades, patched armor, and cruel confidence. Morning, travelers. Take the crates, leave the horses. You don't start the negotiating by keeping the best parts. The bandit archer fires. The arrow strikes the driver in the chest before anyone can move. Down! The driver had no last words, just the breath stolen halfway out of him. Grab the horses! Kill the big one first! He was referring to me. They always say that. Cairo launches from the back of the carriage, slamming his shoulder into the nearest bandit. Pain flashes across his face from his wound, but his strength drives the man into the mud. Elvira, left! Already moving, she answers. I had no sword, no armor, no plan. Fortunately, my body had always understood violence before my mind caught up. Elvira slips low through the tall grass, her white hair flashing like a blade of light. She cuts behind one bandit's knee, then drives her knife into his shoulder as he falls. The bandit leader draws a curved sword and advances on Kairov. You escaped the prison or a battlefield? Both, recently. Good, then you know how this ends. Badly for someone. A panicked horse rears as a bandit cuts too close to the harness. The animal crashes sideways, struck by a spear meant to control it. No! The horse! Forget that one, take the other. The bandits wanted our lives, our goods, and our road. In their greed, they killed half of what they came for. Kairov blocks the leader's sword with a wooden handle. I'm very tired of being haunted. A hidden seventh bandit rises from behind the carriage with a dagger aimed at Kairov's back. Elvira throws her knife. It strikes the bandit's hand, making him drop the blade. She tackles him into the grass. 7. You counted? I was hoping to be wrong. There's just 2. Then stop losing. That sounded personal. It was. The final bandit drops his weapon and runs toward the open field. Elvira, I see him. Do we let him go? If he lives, he tells others 2 wounded travelers have 1 horse. Elvira draws the bow. I'm sorry. She apologized before the arrow landed. Not to him, to the part of herself that still wished the world was kinder. The road is quiet again. The carriage is damaged. Driver, gone. Damn it. He should have left us at the gate. He didn't. No. Kairov and Elvira drag stones together beneath a tree beside the road. They cover the driver's body with his travel coat. The sun is higher now, warm and gentle, contrasting the sadness of the moment. Elvira calms the surviving horse, stroking its neck and speaking softly. Can you ride? Yes. Good. Can you? I have sat on worse things than a horse. That is not an answer. Then no. They search the wrecked carriage. Cairo finds a short sword with a chipped edge and a purse containing only a few copper coins. Not enough for an inn. Enough to not starve today. That is a depressing standard. It is also our best one. The sun dips slightly toward afternoon as a large city appears in the distance. That is not a town, no. That is a kingdom pretending to be a city. Loomhaven, Trade City. You've been here? No. Then why do you sound calm? Because if I start screaming, the horse may panic. Names and purpose. Work. That's not a purpose. That is desperation. Adventurer Guild registration. New blood then. Mostly old blood. Any lord claim you? Any chain mark? Any criminal brand? No. No. You hesitated. We were choosing whether to be offended or grateful. Guild Street. Third bell tower. Cause trouble and you leave through the ditch gate. There are oranges. Yes, just sitting there. That's usually how fruit is sold. In the north, fruit looked like a rumor. Loomhaven did not whisper. It shouted, with bells, wheels, bargaining voices, and the smell of bread I could not afford. They stopped before a large guild hall with carved wooden doors and a hanging sign showing a sword crossed with a wheat stalk and shield. This place gives people work and papers. Papers matter that much? To people who have never needed them? No. To people like us, they are the difference between a person and property. Next. Do we look like we know what we're doing? No. Should we? Also no. Cairo and Elvira stand before a young guild clerk with round glasses and professional smile. Names. Cairo Vargas. Elvira Nordvale. Previous affiliation? None. Nope, none. Any noble house, military order, trade contract, debt bond, servant claim, or penal mark? No. Also no. We lied cleanly. Not because the past was gone, because we had reached a place where the past needed paperwork to follow us. The clerk presses a small crystal seal against their forms. Temporary free worker status granted under guild protection. Free worker? It means no one can claim you inside city jurisdiction without presenting lawful proof before a magistrate. And outside the city? Try not to be outside the city without friends. You're registered as rank E. Lowest? Lowest. Respectfully lowest? Legally lowest. We should leave it at that. A copper badge did not make us heroes. It did not erase chains. But it gave us names that could stand at the counter and be written down. Kairov and Elvira step away from the counter. How much? Now for bread. And an inn? If the inn is imaginary, then we work. We survived a night chase, a river, hounds, bandits, and the city gate. Yes. And now we are defeated by Rent. Rent is ancient and powerful. They stand before the lowest quest board. These are not heroic. Heroic usually pays after you are dead. Fair. We need coin tonight, not glory. What is the least humiliating? Guarding animals from wolves. After last night, wolves feel almost nostalgic. Eastern pasture, 1 night, 2 copper each. Meal included. Meal included? You heard that too? Take it before someone braver and hungrier steals it. The guild clerk stamps the quest paper. First quest. Is it obvious? Painfully. Advice? Do not let wolves eat the sheep. That feels too simple to be useful. Welcome to rank E. Outside the guild hall, Kairov and Elvira sit on a low stone wall sharing a loaf of a cheap bread. This is the best bread I've ever tasted. It's dry. Best dry bread I have ever tasted. Your standards are getting worse. My standards are alive. We ate slowly, not because there was enough, because of the first time in days, no one was trying to take it from our hands. We entered the city and immediately left it. We entered poor, a tragic condition, often fatal. Then we should cure it. After a short walk, we arrived at a small farmhouse that stands near a wide grassy pasture. A farmer, his wife, and 2 children wait anxiously near a fence. You're the guild guards. Yes. Both of you. You requested rank E. They look half dead. Only half. That keeps our price reasonable. The farmer points towards the far side of the pasture where the fence is damaged. Wolves come after sundown. Took 3 sheep this week. How many? Wolves? Sheep. 27 left. We count sheep. That may help you sleep. Dangerous joke. The farmer's wife hands them bowls of stew and thick slices of bread. Kairov stares at the food like it might disappear. Eat before watch. We are meant to be guarding your animals. Hard to guard anything while fainting. Thank you. Deeply, historically, spiritually. They ended up guarding the sheep and fending off every single wolf that had shown up throughout the night. In the morning, the farmer counted the sheep. 27. That is good? That's all of them. Then yes. You two look worse than when you arrived, but professionally worse, I jokingly said. The farmer places a few copper coins into Kairov's palm, then into Elvira's. The coins are small, but both stare at them with quiet disbelief. Guild rate plus bread for the road. You do not need to add bread. You need to accept bread. We accept bread. The coins were ugly, dull, and barely enough. I had never seen anything more beautiful.